Vladi Dadi, I'm Silicon Steve Valley. This is High Spots and Cheap Pops. We are talking AEW and the mystery of the devil. Spooky. We got a brand new cameraman. Thanks, Johnny. He's taking care of us in a good way. I'm still wearing a hat because I'm bald as fuck. Hell yeah.
And you know what? Even with that being said, I would never call you an asshole like Tony Khan would.
So, Vladi Dadi, a lot of speculation on who the devil could be. Is it the two biggest names we're hearing? The first one is Jungle Jack Perry. And now there is, I think, a very hopeful and possibly a little bit illogical hope that CM Punk is going to be unleashed as the devil as well. Vladi Dadi, we know Punk for the most part. Speculation, he will be back in the month of November. The money has it in Chicago at the Survivor Series. Or is it going to be at Full Gear this coming pay-per-view for AEW?
It's a great question. And really, until recently, did we even consider the chance of this being the case of CM Punk? So really, I got to say this offhand. If this were to be CM Punk, this might be the best swerve in a generation. All right. If not ever. It's like right up there with Mark Henry retiring and attacking John Cena, in my opinion.
Was that great?
Joking. No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I'm being all right. So, yeah.
People still talk about it like it was good, though. So that's why I had
it. You know what? I didn't see it coming. I'll say that. However, I loved it. So I hold it true to my heart. So, but if this was the plan all along here, this is a great way to continue the original feud between MJF and CM Punk. There's no better way. Like, this is a stroke of genius if this were the case. And it would all culminate at World's End on Long Island in December. Perfect. And then what it is a loser leave town match because MJF's contract is hanging in the balance here. And right there in his hometown, you would have this. And if this is what they've actually figured out, you would also need like participation by folks like the Elite for this. This is otherworldly in terms of storytelling if it were CM Punk. And some of the reasons that we're discussing this is because recently they're like laying down hints here on their programming. It's very odd. And like you and I, we started discussing this. I saw something online, one of the groups, and I'm like, you know what? There's a point here. He had something to the effect where recently I believe it was on a Collision, you had the House of Black arrived and grabbed the microphone, and while FTR was in the ring, mentioned something about their real friend being gone.
So his best friend's gone.
Well, we all sort of know who that was. And originally when I heard that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's sort of saying, all right, your real friend is gone, but all right, they're sort of hedging maybe them towards Adam Copeland's way. I didn't read too much into it. But then as we go on, you have circumstances where you had the devil appearing recently on Dynamite after Anthony Bowens is thrown through glass in an office. Now, we all know between CM Punk and Jungle Jerkoff that was the spark that happened between them that led to CM Punk's supposed firing, right? So all of a sudden, there's a glass spot in with the devil. And we go even further with this. MJF referred to himself as he's, again, weeks later, still unable to obtain his own world championship back from Jay White. And he refers to himself as being the real champion. Well,
you are going to have to get in the ring with the real world champion.
All previous to CM Punk leaving, what happened? He was discussing how he was the real champion. And this is where we all thought this was leading. So honestly, if this turns out to be at Full Gear, CM Punk returning, and this was a big ruse, kudos to them. I took it hook, line, and sinker. They really messed with the wrestling world. However, in my opinion, this is way too good to be true and totally over the heads of those that are in charge of AEW. So this is now becoming something a little bit. Now let's discuss some of the other folks that are involved here, right? Adam Cole. It's too obvious. And if it is, what is it, Mr. Valley?
Stupid.
Stupid, and I would even say disappointing almost to a certain effect, because they played into the CM Punk portion of it enough here at this point, right? Then it also would kill Better Than You, Baby, right? And honestly, would to me indicate that Adam Cole would defeat MJF for the title soon. And then, and again, listen, and then in NXT, I was a fan of Adam Cole and company, right? But I got to say, I'm not so much a fan of Adam Cole's Empire, which is what it would be with Roderick Strong and Taven and Mike Bennett, and probably Kyle O'Reilly, some form or fashion. I personally, as far as heel groups, I prefer Bullet Club Gold. That's just me. But all of a sudden, we're elevating Adam Cole as a heel champion. Yeah, guns up, exactly. And there you go. So there's some disappointment built into me. Another name perhaps you could throw out there, maybe Don Callis. He has appeared during some of these segments. He also is using The Last Supper as a backdrop for him and his growing family. That's something that I keep in mind. Then we have the outsiders, maybe, where we haven't seen them, and they are bigger names that are about to join. The most obvious is Dolph Ziggler. Also, Mustafa Ali.
They're not really available until, we already saw Ali, but they're not going to be available until December.
Okay, then most importantly, we'd go to Jungle Jerk-Off, right? Now, I got to say this. Worst possible choice for me is it would be an absolute indictment in terms of their creative. Because they hate Punk so much, but they realize they're nothing without him. And that's what it basically lays on the table to me. If they go and actually incorporated this stuff and are continuing their little jabs at Punk while he might be entertaining or going to a WWE, get over it. You got rid of him. You're going to go and incorporate this into a storyline and roll Jungle Jerk-Off out there to go and try to appease the fans. I get it. There's going to be 2% of your audience that's going to be happy about Jungle Jack Perry coming back and having the last laugh, cry me a river, blah, blah, blah. But how does that grow your audience, Tony Khan, if this is indeed him? So he is the worst of all the candidates to me.